A motorcycle battery at a dealership costs about $130. The same capacity battery from the brand the dealership does not want you to ask about costs about $35. The same lead plates, the same acid chemistry, the same cold cranking amps. The sticker is not. 5 motorcycle battery brands. Most riders walk right past, deliver starting power that matches or beats the premium names at a fraction of the cost. By the end of this video, you will know which ones, and the 3 numbers on every battery that tell you whether a cheap battery is a gold mine instead of a paperweight that leaves you stranded. Number 1. Yuasa. Most riders have heard of Yuasa. What they do not know is that Yuasa is not just another battery brand. It is the standard. Yuasa is a joint venture between 2 Japanese industrial giants. GS Yuasa Corporation was formed in 2004 by the merger of Japan Storage Battery, founded in 1917, and Yuasa Corporation, founded in 1918. Together, they represent over 200 years of combined battery engineering experience. GS Yuasa does not just build motorcycle batteries. They are one of the largest automotive battery manufacturers in the world, producing original equipment batteries for Honda, Toyota, Nissan, and Mazda, and they supply the lithium-ion battery packs for the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the International Space Station. That last detail matters. If your battery engineering is good enough for aviation and aerospace, it is more than good enough for a motorcycle starter motor. Here is the proof. A Yuasa YTX14AH, a standard absorbed glass mat battery found in everything from Honda Rebels to Suzuki V-Storms, runs about $55 at most online retailers. The dealership-branded version of the exact same battery, stamped with the motorcycle manufacturer's logo and sold across the parts counter, runs about $130. Same battery, same factory, same lead, same acid, different box and a logo sticker. The dealership markup is not for better engineering, it is for the convenience of not looking up the part number yourself. The riders who know this buy Yuasa and pocket the difference. Number 2. Shido. Shido gets dismissed as another cheap Chinese lithium battery brand, and that comes from one thing: price. When a lithium iron phosphate battery shows up for $60 and the brand name sounds unfamiliar, riders assume it is a fire hazard with a terminal attached. But Shido is not a basement operation wiring recycled cells into plastic cases. Shido is a Japanese brand that specializes exclusively in lithium iron phosphate battery technology, the same chemistry used in electric vehicles and grid storage systems worldwide. Lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, is inherently more thermally stable than the lithium-ion chemistry used in cell phones and laptops. It does not enter thermal runaway when punctured. It does not swell. It does not ignite. It is the safest lithium chemistry commercially available, and it is what Shido builds every battery around. The proof is in the performance math. A Shido LTX14LS lithium battery weighs about 1.8 pounds and delivers 300 cold cranking amps. A Yuasa YTX14AH lead-acid battery weighs about 10 pounds and delivers 200 cold cranking amps. The Shido weighs 80% less and delivers 50% more starting current, and it runs about $90 compared to the Yuasa at $55. Wait, the lithium option costs more. How is that a gold mine? Because the Shido holds its charge for a year sitting on a shelf. A lead-acid battery discharges in 3 months. The Shido survives 4 times the charge-discharge cycles. Over 5 years of riding, the Shido is still going strong while the lead-acid battery has been replaced twice. The lifetime cost of the Shido is half the lifetime cost of the premium lead-acid alternative, for a battery that also drops 8 pounds off your bike and spins the starter faster on cold mornings. Before we continue, a quick word on how this channel works. No battery company pays us. No brand deals, no sponsorships. Every brand here earned its spot by surviving the same 3 checks. If that is useful, subscribe. Those 3 checks turn you from a guesser into a buyer who cannot be upsold at the parts counter. First, the cold cranking amps, printed on the front of every battery. This is the number of amps the battery can deliver for 30 seconds at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, while maintaining voltage above 7.2. Your motorcycle needs a specific minimum to reliably start, especially in cold weather. A cheap battery hiding a low cold cranking amp rating will click, stutter, and fail on the first cold morning of the season. The number must match or exceed what the manufacturer stamped in your manual. Second, the capacity in amp hours. This is how much energy the battery stores when fully charged. It determines how long you can crank the engine before the battery runs flat, and how well the battery handles the electrical load of lights, heated gear, and accessories at idle. A battery with enough cold cranking amps but insufficient amp-hour capacity will start the bike fine, then go dead at a traffic light when your fan kicks on and your grip heaters are pulling power. Third, the date code. Every battery has one, and it tells you when it was manufactured. A lead-acid battery that sat on a warehouse shelf for 18 months before you bought it has already lost significant capacity to self-discharge. Sulfation begins the moment acid contacts the plates, and a battery that was activated at the factory 6 months before you installed it is already aging. Look for a date code within the last 6 months. If the retailer cannot tell you when it was made, buy elsewhere. Run those 3 checks, and most of the gap between a premium battery and a smart budget battery disappears. Back to the list. Number 3, Bikemaster. Bikemaster gets treated like a generic parts store brand, with no real engineering behind it. Here is what the label does not tell you. Bikemaster is the house brand of Tucker Powersports, one of the largest powersports parts distributors in North America. Tucker does not manufacture batteries. They contract with established battery factories to build batteries to their specifications and quality standards, then sell them under the Bikemaster label, without the premium brand markup. The key is that Tucker contracts with established factories. These are not mystery manufacturers. Bikemaster absorbed glass mat batteries are produced in facilities that also build batteries for major automotive and powersports brands, using the same lead oxide paste chemistry, the same absorbed glass mat separator technology, and the same robotic assembly processes. Tucker simply buys capacity in those factories, stamps their own label on the output, and prices it 30 to 40% below the name brands sitting next to it on the shelf. The proof is the price against the performance. A Bikemaster BTX9BS, the standard replacement for Honda CBR 600RR and Kawasaki Ninja 650, runs about $40. The Yuasa equivalent in the same size runs about $70. The dealership branded version runs about $110. Same physical dimensions. Same terminal layout. Same cold cranking amp rating. The Bikemaster delivers identical starting performance at roughly 1/3 of the dealership price and 60% of the Yuasa price. The riders who know this buy Bikemaster and tell their friends they bought a factory-built battery. Because they did. Number 4, Antigravity. Antigravity is the brand most riders associate with high-end lithium batteries for custom builds and track bikes, and most commuters have no idea it is one of the great value plays in the motorcycle battery market. Antigravity is an American company founded in 2009 in Los Angeles. They specialize exclusively in lithium iron phosphate batteries, and they hold a patent on their battery management system technology called BDT, which stands for Battery Detection Technology. The BDT system monitors individual cell health inside the battery and provides a built-in jumpstart feature that is genuinely useful. Here is how it works. When the battery voltage drops below a threshold, the BDT system puts the battery into a sleep mode to protect the cells from damage. You press a small button on the battery, or use a wireless remote on newer models, and the battery wakes up with enough stored energy to start the engine even after months of sitting. No jump starter needed. No removing the battery. No calling a friend with cables. The proof is in the direct comparison. An Antigravity ATZ10 Restart lithium battery, the standard size for Yamaha MT-07 and Suzuki SV650, runs about $180. A Shorai LFX14L4 lithium battery in the same size runs about $150. Both are lithium iron phosphate. Both deliver over 300 cold cranking amps. The Antigravity costs $30 more, but includes the Restart Jump feature, a battery management system that protects against over-discharge, and a 3-year warranty versus Shorai's 2-year. Antigravity keeps their prices competitive because they engineer their own battery management circuitry in-house rather than licensing it from a third-party supplier. Same LFP cell chemistry as Shorai. Same starting performance. The added value is the jumpstart feature that has saved riders from being stranded more times than any roadside assistance plan ever has. This is the battery that the custom builder puts in the bike he actually rides, because it saves weight and starts every time without a tender connected. Number 5, MMG. This one is different, and I will be honest, because that honesty is how you separate a gold mine from a trap. MMG has no GS Yuasa or aerospace pedigree behind it. It is a budget brand sold primarily through online powersports retailers, and the name carries no prestige in any forum or dealership in the country. And that lack of pedigree is real. You will find owner reviews complaining that MMG batteries did not last as long as the name brand equivalents, or that the first unit arrived with a low charge and needed a full charge cycle before installation. That is true, and it is the trade you are making. But here is what also happened. MMG batteries are produced by a contract manufacturer in China that also builds absorbed glass mat batteries for several recognized power sports and automotive brands. The factory holds ISO 9001 certification, meaning their quality management system has been independently audited. The batteries they produce for MMG use standard lead calcium alloy plates, absorbed glass mat separators, and the same activation process as the premium brands. The proof is in the numbers. An MMG absorbed glass mat battery in a common sport bike size runs about $35. The Yuasa equivalent runs about $70. The Bikemaster equivalent runs about $40. The MMG delivers the same cold cranking amp rating and the same amp hour capacity for half the price of the Yuasa and slightly less than the Bikemaster. MMG is the pick when you have run the 3 checks, verified the cold cranking amps and amp hours match your requirements, checked the date code to ensure fresh stock, and decided you would rather spend $35 on a battery you might replace in 3 years than $70 on a battery that will likely need replacing in 4. That is a smart trade, not a desperate one.